Happy Monday to you, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend, and now it's time to get back to work and get back to training. I have Jack here with me today. He's a 13-week-old Labradoodle puppy, and we're doing some imprinting work with him. Love training the young puppies. They're so cool. They're slate is clean, and what you build upon that slate is all up to you. All up to you. So today I want to show you something that we use when we train puppies. It's called object choice tasking, or a modified version thereof. Object choice tasking has been used quite often in science to study the cognition capabilities of animals by giving them tasks to do objects. Sometimes you want to check and see or determine if they're able to select a certain object and perform a certain task based upon a gaze, a point, so on and so forth. In the military, when I worked in marine mammal projects, we did a modified version of that as well. We used to hold two paddles, they look like ping pong paddles, to the dolphins. And in the very beginning, we would just put the paddle in the water with a brand new dolphin in training. Brand new. Just stick the paddle in the water and just shake the paddle while they're swimming around in the tank. And in seconds, you could feel their echolocation sonar bouncing off of that paddle in your hand. It felt like Rice Krispies were popping around your hand. It was way cool. And because the mammal is so intelligent and so curious, they'd come over to that paddle. And right then we'd whistle. I'm a horrible whistler, I have to whistle. But just take my word for it. We'd whistle and again get fish right then. Either smelt, mackerel, whatever it is that we were feeding that animal at that time. But we wanted the animal to make an association that when you see this paddle come to it, when you touch it, there'll be a whistle. When there's a whistle, there's fish. And over a period of time, the paddles kind of went away, and you were able to direct the mammal by using your hands. The hands became the paddles. When I trained at SeaWorld, we could teach the animals to jump into the air, turn left and turn right, and flip, and all these sort of things, and come back towards you using our hands based upon paddles. And the same thing with the dolphins in the military. They use those paddles to indicate whether they found the object that we were tasking them to find or not. So a modified version of that is what I use to train puppies. We're taking advantage of the fact that their eyesight is the number one sense that they depend upon for learning. And then I'm going to use food, because when you're this young, again, everything that you're learning right now and everything that you were already given before you were born is biologically prepared learning. You already have it. The desire, the absolute need to seek out food. Food, the sustainer of all life. At the end of the day, it boils down to life is an exchange of energy for more energy. So I'm going to combine that energy, that food treat, with a paddle of sorts. Not a ping pong paddle. My hand is going to become the paddle. And like those dolphins, I'm going to draw this puppy's attention to my hand. And this hand can now be used to shape a sit, or a down, or a come to me, or a heel. It just has to be consistent. Even with these marine mammals, I tell you what, I used to train them during the day, and then train dogs in the evening or on the weekends if I had time. And I tell you what, you know me, I love dogs. So I used to go up to them and I'd say, you know guys, I'm just going to be honest with you, training that dolphin was like a Ferrari. You guys are like a Volkswagen. It is what it is. Those dolphins are so incredibly intelligent. And if they needed a consistent paddle, like a ping pong paddle, to start their training, getting them to come to that so we could direct them with that paddle to do other tasks, then your puppy's going to need it as well. So I can't really just kind of demonstrate here a little bit with Jack. Jack, again, 13-week-old Labradoodle puppy. All right, Jack, my man. Okay, so first things first, after you get a whole book, is take your treat. And what I will typically do is I'll hold the treat in my hand between my index finger and my middle finger, right there. You can see it right there. There's the treat. And then I'll use it to lure the dog over to me. Jack, come. So now he comes right to the paddle as you see there. Right to the paddle. That's the very beginning of all things with puppies in their formal training. Come right to the paddle. Directly to it. And now I'm going to do a combination here. I'm going to have him come to me, come to the paddle, so he's really not coming to find just yet. He's coming to the paddle. All right? And then when he gets here, I'm going to shake the paddle and clean the sit from it, just like this. Jack, come. Set the paddle, sit, lift the paddle above his head, and now allow him to take the treat from the paddle. We can do the same thing on heel. Present the paddle on the desired side of the body, down either on the left side. Heel. So really, it's kind of a modified tongue. He's coming to the paddle. Heel. And when he arrives at the paddle, I can simply kick it out of my hand if I want to, and let him take it. Heel. He comes to the paddle. And you see the rope up here. All you have to do is move a little bit. Heel. Heel to the paddle. I love that enthusiasm. Man, don't you wish your Mondays looked like that? That you had that kind of energy? Wouldn't that be incredible? All right, now let me show you with the down. Okay, so I think you guys can see that. There we go. I can get the paddle down. Take the paddle to the ground. Audio issues? All right, so where did we have audio issues?
Let me go see if we're still.
Okay. All right, guys, we obviously had some technical issues. Hopefully the audio is back up and you guys can actually hear me versus just watch me. We're back up. All right, we're good. Okay, I don't know where the audio failed to work. When you're doing this thing here, right, man, I can't read really what's coming up on that screen, but I appreciate all you guys trying to reach out there and let me know. So let me just back up a little ways there. Today we're doing a modified version of object choice tasking for young puppies. It's a wonderful way to train mammals and non-humans in the sense that when you give them an object, then there's a natural curiosity about that object. Put a little food in that object, and next thing you know, you've got that animal's attention. And in the Navy, when we trained dolphins to perform specific tasks, we'd put paddles in the water and shake them. And when they were curious enough, they would approach the paddle and touch it with their rostrum there at the front of the head. And as soon as they did, we'd whistle and give a fish. And it took no time at all before the smart dolphin realized that when I see a paddle, if I go to that paddle, I'll get a fish. And then later we drew it out. Hey, okay, not only do I have to go to the paddle, but now I have to do a couple more steps. And after I've completed like step number 7, then I'll get the fish. And then just drew from there and and further and further. And then marine mammals, when they do shows, like for example, Marine World or Sea World, starts off with paddles and then it rotates in the hands. We're going to do the same thing with our little puppy here. I've got Jackson, a 13-week-old Labradoodle puppy. And I'm going to use a modified version of object choice tasking for this little puppy. And the way that we do that is my hand will become the paddle. My hand. And if you look in there real close, you'll see a treat right there between my index finger and my middle finger. And that is the reward for coming to the paddle. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you a little bit here. And again, I know there was no audio on the previous part, so you can go back and watch it, but here we go. Jackson, come. He comes right to that paddle. Right to the paddle. Perfect. Okay, I reload again. Got my treat and my paddle. Jackson, come. And he comes right to that paddle. Well done, sir. And then I can take the paddle to create other behaviors as well. So again, I reload. Ha-ha. And if you fumble it, just reload again. You got to be faster than the darn puppy is. Jackson, come. He's here. Sit. I just simply lift the paddle, and now I let him take the treat out from between my fingers. And you can do a similar thing for down. In other words, once you have the pup up here, he comes to the treat, we give him the sit, down. We lower the paddle to the ground, and the dog now takes the treat. We can also use it for heel, to teach the young dog to walk next to us. So it looks like this. Heel. So he comes to the paddle, and I let him have the treat. Reload. heel. And as long as I continue to present the paddle, again, even with the marine mammals, these really, really, really intelligent dolphins and orcas, far more intelligent than our dogs, we had to stereotype the signal. Like I've been telling you in all these videos, it was those same paddles over and over again. So even switching your paddle from this, like I showed you, to this and hand it to the dog like so, can actually confuse the dog. Start with one or the other. But for me, this big old hand is a lot easier to see, a lot easier to maintain a stereotype signal than sitting there trying to pinch a treat between my fingers. And not only that, but I don't know about you, but again, I always believe in the philosophy that if you start right, you get the end right. And this right here, when I turn it like so, allows the dog to grab it. Grab my entire index finger, grab my thumb with those very sharp milk teeth. Yeah, hard to do that when the treat's there. That's kind of like trying to eat something off the face of a plate. You can't snatch it. You got to work it, probably with those incisors in your tongue. Which then means we start right when it comes to you putting your mouth on me. So yeah, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I advise you do the same thing. So a couple more and then we're out of here. Ready, Jackson, dog. Come, paddle presented. He arrives and he takes the treat nice and gently out of my hand. Oh, look at that. I'm going to reward that. That's a beautiful sit right there. Hopefully you guys can see it on the camera there. Come on, Jackson. Let's get in here a little closer, buddy. Down. And just put the paddle on the ground. That's all you're doing, putting the paddle on the ground. And he goes to the paddle. Goes to the paddle. So you can use this for many, many, many things. The paddle can go up to a door. Teach the dog to go to the paddle first. Over a period of time, the paddles go away and are now changed or substituted with other signals that have been associated with the original paddle. Those dolphins, we could send them to do a task. Something as complicated as find a bottom-laid mine. Come back to me. Touch a particular colored paddle. And when you do, that lets me know if there's a mine there or not. If there is, I can then send you with an explosive device to lay next to that mine that we can set off later when everyone's safe and out of the area. That's very complicated work for an animal to do. And it all started with paddles and it ended with those paddles. But along the way, that whistle, anytime I need the animal to know you just did good, we blew that whistle. Because the whistle got associated with the paddles, which then got associated with the fish. And the one thing about fish, when you're working marine mammals, you can't keep it on your side like I have these treats in this bag. That's salmonella. And you go killing a $30 million dolphin, and a lot of people tend to get upset. So therefore, the fish was always kept on ice. And you could not always give an instantaneous reward. We did in the beginning, but later, we'd have that animal do work for up to 15 to 20 minutes before it finally get the fish. But along that way, they got about 8 whistles. Man, that was good. Boy, that's perfect. You are the dude today. And then eventually give them the fish. That's something you can do with one of those animals. Not something you can do with your puppy. You always have to be ready. So a young dog, again, treat in the paddle, baby. Right there. There it is. Jack, come. Yeah, baby, come to my paddle. Just keep presenting the paddle, a modified version of object choice tasking. Use it for heel, use it for sit, use it for down, use it for come. You can even use it for off. You can use it for so many things. Start with this, stay here with this until the dog's about 4 months of age, and then you can slowly now transition the dog from that puppy imprinting to now starting to get into, okay, I'm not going to have a paddle forever, or maybe I will. Come. Sit. Down. Yeah. Right here, baby. There you go. Wait. Starting to pick up on a trend here? Those of you who've been watching these videos, you're probably picking up on a trend about now. Stereotype the signal from the beginning
to the end. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Bryan with the Y at tamingthewild.com. If you have any suggestions for a future Facebook Live video, send them my way. Today is the halfway point, by the way. Sweet! I am at the top of the mountain. Now I get to descend a little bit. But what does that mean? It just means I'm going to keep turning and burning with these videos. But I am halfway through my 365-day challenge. Man, that feels good. Tell you what, I had a lot of fun. Hope you're enjoying them as well. All right, I'm out of here. It's Monday, and Jack is getting ready to go home. So I got to do a couple more paddle presentations with him and get him to head out the door to his owner. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make a great training day. Stereotype that signal. Keep working those little puppies, and you're going to get the end right. All right, have a good one. See ya. Come on, Jack. Oh, what a good puppy you are. I love you, little dude.